Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakai Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who do rule and teach well. Peace and blessings to the Tabernacle of David, the Akim and Akwath, out there listening, learning, keeping the faith of our Lord Yahweh Shai until all is fulfilled. And we are very close to the end. So it's the brother Azariah back again with some things going on pertaining to end time prophecy. Okay, so there's a lot going on in the so-called Middle East region. About last week, you had the U.S. send 12 warships to that Middle East region. All right, now they've deployed, I think, 4,000 Marines over to that region. Then over this weekend, you've had pretty much Russia. They've declared a state of emergency that because Ukraine blew up one of their oil depots. All right, so everywhere you look, things are escalating, picking up. Japan, they just had I think it was a 7 magnitude earthquake. Now they're talking about fears of a megaquake that's going to be a 9.1 or even higher, on the Richter scale. So, we're in some very perilous times indeed, where the Lord is definitely speaking in this time. All right. And, the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai have gone out of his mouth, and they shall not return void. So this is why we say that the times that we're in is very crucial for you to understand what's going on. And it's also of the utmost importance. You should be moving with a sense of urgency to stay on the straight and narrow path that leads to salvation and righteousness. Okay, because what's about to happen is that majority of people that you see in this world, they're about to be taken away in the things that are coming. There was also a report that in the capital, Washington, D.C., there's a tornado alert. Okay, so you seeing judgment occur, all around the earth. So let me put this on D&D. So you're seeing judgments occur all around the earth, man, and the people don't even understand what's going on. You see Esau, his Western society is breaking down, because his own elites are now, coming against him. You see what's going on in the UK. You see what's going on in, Germany and France and those EU nations is complete chaos. All right. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. The worst, Salakia, the worst is yet to come. All right. So we don't want to be aligned with the judgment of this world, but we want to be given favor and grace and mercy to be kept from these things that ultimately the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai is bringing. See, and our faith has made us stable in these times to not only see what's going on, but to also believe, all right, through faith, that these are the words, these are the things which we were, informed of through the Spirit, long ago, thousands of years, that are now coming to pass in this appointed time in these last days. All right. So, it's just a whole lot going on. And the theme of the hour is prophecy. All right. The theme of the hour is prophecy and judgment. And, the Lord is working. All right. So this TikTok right here, this is just a brief synopsis of what's going down in that Middle East region. All right. Because we already know that these things are leading up to the Battle of Armageddon, the Valley of Yahweh Shabbat, all right, or Yahweh's judgment, where all the nations are going to gather together, and the Lord is going to judge them, all right, in that so-called Middle East region. You see, but Iran and Russia and North Korea and, India, Pakistan, and, those kings of the East, they're being stirred up, the kings of the Medes, which are the Russians, they're being stirred up, man. All right, so we're at the point of no return. There is no going back to what people thought of as normal. This is the new normal, see, where any given day, things can just pop off. All right. Blackouts, famines, pestilences, diseases are all over the place. So yeah, man. But let's check this video out and we'll get into some articles. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying.
Breaking news in regards to the Middle East. USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group 3, ballistic missile defense capable cruisers, destroyers, and an entire fighter squadron have been ordered to deploy to the Middle East as a contingency in case anything could possibly go on between Iran and Israel. Now, obviously, this past week has been a little crazy. There's been some strikes happening all over the place and things have been escalating. So that is going on. That was just ordered by the Secretary of Defense. In addition to that, a whole bunch of airlines have canceled their flights to Israel. Over the past few days, Air India, Germany's Lufthansa Group, and U.S. carriers, United Airlines, and Delta, and Italy's ITA Airways said they had suspended flights to Tel Aviv. Airlines this week have also been canceling and delaying flights to the Lebanese capital, Beirut, after the strike that happened there. Canada even issued a notice to Canadian aircraft to avoid Lebanese airspace for at least a month due to the risk to aviation from military activity. Additionally, there's been a new Joint Resolution 106, which was a resolution to authorize the use of the United States Armed Forces against the Islamic Republic of Iran for threatening the national security of the United States through the development of nuclear weapons. It was introduced by Senator Lindsey Graham on July 31st. And you read the entire thing, it's online. It's like, to authorize the use of the United States Armed Forces against the Islamic Republic of Iran for threatening the national security of the United States through the development of nuclear weapons. And it just says whereas for everything. You can read it. It's crazy. In any case, there's a lot going on, and this is definitely a developing situation. Okay, so some break.
Yeah, so you hear what they're talking about. They're talking about activating the U.S. Armed Forces against Iran because, according to them, Iran is posing a threat to U.S. national security. And this is why you've been seeing videos come up on TikTok, on Twitter, X, different social media platforms of young men and women receiving letters of basically a draft notice, okay? Because these are the things that are going on. And majority of people are not really paying attention to what's going on geopolitically in this world. So these things are really going to happen all of a sudden. All right, you're going to be drafted all of a sudden. See, all of a sudden, the stores are going to be empty. All right, you're not. See, the thing about it is there is going to be no remedy for what's coming. It's either you're on the right side of judgment or the Lord is going to take you out, point blank, period. And the scriptures tell you, I believe that 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, where it speaks about the bridegrooms shall die in the wars, okay? So these wars that are going on overseas, this is leading to many young men that are going to be drafted into these things, and ultimately, when you get drafted into these wars, you ain't coming back, okay? There is no pray for the best, or hope for the best, but pray for the Salaki, pray for the best, but expecting the worst. Nah, man. If you get sent over there, you gonna be turned to, topsoil. All right, you ain't coming back, man. See, and ultimately, if you do somehow survive overseas, that long, then you're gonna be involved in a direct war with Yahweh Shai in the host of heaven when he returned. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to be fighting against the Lord, man. So, either way, if you a Jake and you know what's going on, you shouldn't even have a thought in your mind to where you're going to fight for these devils, all right? Because ultimately, their end is already manifest, all right? This is our time to be delivered, and it's time for the heathen to be judged, see? So now, when you go here, World War III fears explode as Russian ally rushes troops to Ukraine's border. And let me get this scripture in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. And let's start at 17. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters, which is of Yahweh Shai. And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. So is not Yahweh Shai. You can look at the things going on in the earth, and you can see that the Lord Yahweh Shai is drawing nigh. Okay? The Lord is visiting the earth which he has made. You see? All the things prophetically you see going on in this earth at this current moment is a sign, a testament that Yahweh Shai is coming back very, very soon. All right? We're pretty much at the end game, man. You know, it's only a matter of playing out these events, but the main prophecies that we have left to look forward to before the full end is manifest is, of course, the MOTB, which that is upon us. All right. They're talking about 2025 rolling this thing out full scale, but we know before that there's going to be an economic collapse, which look at what just happened to Japan. They just dumped trillions of dollars of U.S. assets. Russia doing the same thing. We saw last week that the stock market took 1,000-point dip for the first time in history. You see what I'm saying? So this dollar, this current Federal Reserve, FRN dominated society is on the way out. Okay, and that's going to make way for a new system on this earth where everything is going to be digital, tracked, and traced, AI driven. All right, this NWO system. So all these things are signs that the Lord is drawing near. Right, verse 19, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and with the affliction of Sion shall be fulfilled. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. All right, so now the people, especially, those of the hopeful elect, all right, those that hold the testimony of Yahweh Bashim Shai, we are now seeing all together the tokens, right? We understand the books that have been opened before the firmament. See, the understanding has been given once again. All right, and this is why you'll have individuals such as Vocab Malone or Christian apologists try to come up against the Israelites, because ultimately no one is going to kick a dead dog. You see, you're only going to give energy or try to stop something which you deem as a threat, because ultimately that it is the truth. You don't see the powers that be going up against Sexy Red and going up against these other degenerates or people that produce folly. You don't see them performing hardcore campaigns to stop what they're talking about. See, but when it comes to what the Hebrew Israelites are talking about, they're censoring brothers' videos, they're shadow banning, deleting brothers' pages, deleting comments, and all these different things that they're doing to try and stop the truth. But see, what Esau don't understand is that it's already too late. All right, as the scriptures say, the books have already been opened before the firmament, man. The understanding is already out there, and the elect at this point are pretty much sealed. So the damage has already been done. This devil society is through, finished, and it's only a matter of time. All right. So going back to the article, it says Belarus has moved more troops and equipment to the Ukrainian border after claiming it shot down aerial targets entering the country's airspace from Ukraine. The country, a key Russian ally that has so far avoided deploying its own troops in the ongoing war between its neighbors, said it had detected and destroyed the objects on Friday night, August 9th, describing the incident as a, quote, provocation. Alexander Lukashenko, Belarus's long-serving president and a man commonly described as Europe's last dictator, vowed the incident will not go unanswered, especially after Putin's recent humiliation. Right? So, you had all these targets destroyed, and, now, Belarus, and they've also been given nukes to hold from Russia. Also, Iran, I think they've been given recently within the past 2 days, they've been given nuclear missiles from Russia. Okay, so look, these things ain't happening for no reason. See, these things are happening because ultimately it's the will of the Heavenly Father. See, and like I said, man, it's only a matter of time. I mean, really, when you just look at how crucial of a situation that this is, the dollar is through. You know what I'm saying? The morale of the people is finished, and ultimately, these devils, they're about to pull off a major psyop that's gonna pretty much force many people into the direction of war. All right, because when you're comfortable in a society, you don't want to go to war. All right, but when you're uncomfortable, when you feel like, and this is why they're drying up the jobs. Okay, they're drying up the jobs so that it's prophesied in the scriptures that there should be no more work for Egypt. But Esau's strategy is, okay, if I dry up the jobs, if I dry up the food, if I take away the comforts and dainties of this society, they're not going to want to, speaking of the people, they're not going to want to not go to war because there's nothing else for them to do. On top of that, I'm going to, bring in military-aged men, sleeper cells. I'm going to activate them to cause chaos in the streets. People are going to be in fear. So at, that point, young men are going to have pretty much no other option but to go to war, because that's going to be seen as a better option than to be left in the streets of America or in the streets of Europe, wherever you may be, waiting to be slaughtered. You see? So, yeah, man, we're just in some very perilous times, okay, to where, scripture, prophecy is speaking loud and clear, okay? Japan, earthquake, urgent alert issued over megaquake as strong as 9.1 on the Richter scale. Now, 9.1 is crazy, see, but this is what they're talking about in megaquake. And Yahweh Shah told us in Matthew 24 chapter that there shall be earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, in Japan, they've been getting rocked with earthquakes all this year. I remember January 1st, I think they got hit with like an 8.7 earthquake, you know what I'm saying? Then this 7.1 just hit the other day. Now they're talking about a 9.1. So that land of Japan, really all the heathen are under judgment. You see, this is the judgment of Yahweh Bashman Shai, coming down on these heathen nations, because let's get it. Luke 21 and 23. Salaki 22. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall flee by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And we are at the time of the fulfillment of the time of the Gentiles. Okay? This time where the heathen have been ruling over us, they've been, we've had to live under their laws. We've had to abide by the ordinances of their societies. You see what I'm saying? And to where we've been made to go against our power. We've been destroyed by these heathen. The time for them to rule over us, to rule over the gods of the earth, is at an end. You see, so now the Lord is raising back up Yasha'Allah, starting with the elect remnant. All right, but eventually the whole nation is going to be good, man. But, on this go around, it's all about the elect. All right, the chosen of the chosen. See, verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. You see, and right now in Japan, people's hearts are failing them for fear. You got people over there panic buying. You got people over there frantically trying to, earthquake proof their homes and their assets. They're pretty much going all out because they understand that if and when this earthquake comes, this is the big one that could, end their whole society. All right. So, best believe these other nations are watching. Esau's watching. They listen. They know what time it is. See, they know that the Lord is on his way back. All the signs are there. You've seen the chariots occur more frequently. Angels are manifesting themselves. The spiritual realm is manifesting itself more in this time. All right. And on top of that, you have these so-called natural disasters, these judgments from the Lord. Also in Brazil, you just had a plane with 71 people just take a nosedive and take everyone on that plane out. These are the judgments that you're seeing happen. This is the season of judgment, man, as we always continue to go into. All right, so that just goes to show you that the doors of mercy are closing and that the mercy of the Lord is wearing thin. Okay. It says the Japanese meteorological agency said the Nankai Trough could see a major earthquake as strong as magnitude 9.1. The advisory warning will remain in place for a week. Experts have said that while it doesn't necessarily mean a megaquake will occur, the country should prepare. And that's adding to people's mental anguish even more because they don't, it could be or it might not. So you see, it's really a thing of not being sure. All right. So that's just adding more to people's fear. All right. Yeah. It says Fumio Kishida, Japan's prime minister, has canceled a planned visit to Kazakhstan because he said people would be feeling anxious. This warning comes just over 2 hours after a tremor struck off the coast of Miyazaki Prefecture. 3 people are said to be injured. A megaquake is commonly considered to be a tremor with a magnitude of more than 8.0. So these, call Allah, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because these nations are completely through. You see what I'm saying? It's all going down. Matthew 24, and we'll close out on this. Matthew 34 and 35 says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. You see, so Yahushua is saying that in the days just before he makes his return, it's going to be like the days of Noah. All right, so you're going to be seeing all the wickedness that was going on in the days of Noah. It's going to be going on now, which we see that. All right, people just living in a very carefree attitude as if the world is not coming to an end. People traveling here and there, eating and drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, basically carrying on with, their everyday festivities as if the world is not coming to an end, as if prophecy is not taking place. You see, but this is why, all right, it says in 39, the flood came and took them all away, and they knew not. All right, because why? They wasn't watching. See, they wasn't hearkening to the prophet Noah. See, and that's the same thing with the masses of the people on this earth now. All right, you have the prophets, all right, telling you what's about to come on this earth, and people ain't listening. You see people pass and walk on by because in their minds, from what they can see, it's a sunny day. They can still go to work. They can still eat. They can still enjoy the pleasure of this life. So to them, there's nothing to worry about. All right. The things that we're talking about is like they they think the things we're talking about is going to take place in a distant generation, 100, 200 years from now. It's not going to happen in their generation. But believe me when I tell you, we are the generation that is going to see the return of Yahweh Shai. All right. We are the generation that is witnessing the end of this world. I mean, look, everything is already lined up. All right. So this is why the scriptures tell us, to watch and be circumspect, to, always be aware, because things can pop off at any given moment. And you don't want to be caught with your proverbial pants down. All right. When the Lord comes back. All right. You want to be that good and faithful servant to which the Lord will have mercy on ultimately when these judgments do come. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out here. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Racha Kadash, called Allah Imla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Kom Yasha Allah and the Bible Ball. Shalom.